With the product logic, it will be a very similar process, with some adjustments, as usual. So let's begin. I will go once again to the create user DTO to copy just this field again. Now I will go to the create product DTO and then paste this here. Now to create a product, we'll also need some other fields, which I will decorate a bit later. They will be description, price, and the categories with which this product will be associated. But what should be the type of this field? For now, let's assume that we are going to receive the IDs of the categories. So I'll put here an array of number. And then I will go once again to the user service and copy this and paste in the product service. And then replace user for product. So now let's talk about the adjustments. However, I just noticed that I was about to forget the read-only prefix once again. So I'll already insert it here. Alright, so the description field generally may be much longer than the name, for example. So in this case, I'll use this same length decorator, but with the values, for example, 1 to 500. And it is common that the description is optional. So I'll use the decorator is optional. Price must be a positive number with, at the most, 2 decimal places, if it is a decimal. So here I will use is number with the option max decimal places with the value 2 and is positive. If we wanted, we could even create a custom decorator for this, which I will do now very quickly. I will go back to the isCardinal decorator and I will copy this and create a new decorator. For example, isCurrency.decorator. So I'll paste this here and call this isCurrency. And I will change the description for checks if the value is a positive number greater than 0 with at the most 2 decimal places. And I'll just go back to the create product DTO and copy just this decorator and paste it here over isInt. And then I will delete this @ sign, import the isNumber decorator, and use the validation options after these options. And there we have it. Then I can come back to the create product DTO and replace this with isCurrency. And we need to use the one we created right now, not the one from class validator. And lastly, the categories field should be an array, and it should not be empty, as a product must have at least one category. So I will use the decorator array not empty. And it should be an array of IDs or an array of cardinals. So I can use is cardinal with the option each true. So with this, we have finished the create DTO. Then in the product service, when finding one product, I will also fetch its categories. But have you noticed this error here and this one here? So going back to the create DTO, I will now discuss something quickly. If we wanted to receive the categories as an array of IDs, which we can of course, no problem with that. I will even put here IDs to be clear. So here in the service, I will need to adjust this accordingly. For example, I would need to create from the contents of this DTO and the categories, just forgot a comma here, the categories of this product. If I set this to the create DTO dot categories IDs, it will continue complaining because it does not expect an array of numbers. It expects an array of something that represents categories. So for example, an object with an ID field. That would be already enough. So to demonstrate this, I will map this ID array to objects with ID fields. So now, this is not complaining anymore. And this is just a linting error. But if I wanted, I could already receive the categories as objects with IDs. It could be another approach, which I'll teach you how to do this in the next lesson. Just a quick complement, what will actually be taught in the next lesson will be how to validate these objects with ID fields. And the advantage of doing this is that we can leave the service untouched. So, see you there.